All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you're tuning in from. I am Eric Carr, your success concierge, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the program that we have today. So today is July 3rd, 2024. Amazing time because we're like, when you get to the first part of July, that is actually the halfway point, give or take, of the year. So you have half of 2024 gone, and you have another half left to go. So it's a good time to take stock in what you've had going on, check your progress towards your goals, and say either pat yourself in the back and celebrate a little bit. But even if you celebrate, you got to get back in the ball game really, really quickly. Or if you have not gotten all the things done that you wanted to get done, then you can also too make adjustments, retool, revamp, refocus, and finish the end of the year strong. So I'm very excited. This is like summertime. We are officially in summer. June 21st was the first day of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, that means it's winter. I do have individuals who tune in to me from different parts of the world. So you asked me on a warm, cool, beautiful, sunny summer day, whether it's warm, hot, what is a fragrance that you would wear? And also too, because we talked about the character and the kind of review, the hero's journey that we're doing. And so I went with a Matrix theme. So this is a Bond number 9 Soho right here. So you see it's kind of got the optical illusion going on. Let me put it up here. So Bond number 9 Soho, it kind of has the optical illusion there. Man, this fragrance is amazing. This right here is a year-round fragrance, indoors, outdoors. It just works. Um, I used to travel with it, and I got the top stuck, so I stopped doing that. But this is just a beautiful, magnificent fragrance. Men can wear it, women can wear it. It's probably for 25 and up. But some of you younger brothers and sisters, you can pull it off, but you definitely have to have a level of sophistication with that. And like I said, this is one of my things. I also wanted to check out these frames here because we are talking about Hero's Journey and Matrix. I like these because, in the Matrix, they always have some nice shades, nice frames, nice sunglasses. So these are some ones that would have been apropos for that, but it makes it a little bit difficult for me to see you to see me. But I do love these frames. It just makes everything a little bit blue. So I'm not going to take out to wear these because I don't want to distract from the theme. Maybe what I'll do is while I'm going through the case study, I will put these on so you can free your mind. But that's another thing that I have going there. So let's talk about what I do. I'm Eric Carr, your success concierge, and what I do is I help individuals make a great personal individuals and businesses help make a great first impression because you only get one shot to make a first impression. And so I help you master the ABCDs of image, appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint, so that you put yourself in the best position to achieve your desired outcomes. Because when you don't put yourself in best position to achieve your desired outcomes, you miss out on opportunities. You don't get that chance that you thought you felt you shouldn't have got. You may have gotten overlooked, or better yet, maybe those customers who should have been coming to your business, they go somewhere else. So it's going to keep you from regressing, and we want to make sure that you're progressing. So I make it simple to interact with me. All you got to do is reach out, book a consultation. We can chat. We can go from there. And I can go ahead and help you with that because definitely want you to win, avoid that pain of that as well too. So that's kind of what we do. But let's get into the topic. Let's talk about the hero's journey. I've been having some dialogue with some people going back and forth about the hero's journey, and as an entrepreneur, why you need to understand the hero's journey, even as a brand, or even if you're the individual who's an employee who goes out and executes, why you want to understand the hero's journey. So, like, there's a recipe or a blueprint for success in films. And these films that use the successfulness, they follow the hero's journey. And some of your top grossing films, like your movies, well, phase 1, 2, and 3 before Marvel changed up. But those movies, they had the hero's journey and they did it well. And that's why those movies did well. And when movies don't, like some of your remakes that you see where they switch out a gender, switch out a race, switch out an orientation for heroes, and don't necessarily follow the path of the hero's journey. Those type of films do not do as well, and that's what we've been seeing because, like recently in Hollywood and whatnot, they want to go a different direction. But then you saw a recent movie like Top Gun Maverick that really did tap into that as well too. I haven't seen the new Bad Boys, but maybe that does as well too. But definitely have to check that out as well too. So we're going to talk about the hero's journey, mastering that, and how that's going to help you be successful in business as well as life. Let's check out the chat as well too. Let's see here. We got Miss Denise Mobley. Welcome. Good to see everyone. Make sure y'all hit that like button when y'all step in here. And also too, you can put your questions up into the chat, or you put your questions into the chat, and I will answer them. Or you can always jump in on the panel. I'm putting that up there so people can get their mind right before we go into that. And I'm gonna get in character a little bit. We're gonna talk about the hero's journey and how that applies to you and how that applies to business. And let's go right here. Let's see here what we got here. All right. ETC Food. Hello and welcome. I don't know who I just know the name. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And let's go ahead and get started here. Let me put on these right here just to have a little fun. I mean, I like my frames. People know frames are important to me. And just a little caveat. So why are frames important? Men, we can't do a lot to change our face. Ladies can change their makeup. They can wear their hair up, down. We can't do much to change our face or how we look appearance wise. So that's why frames are important because you can change your look up very quickly, because I can't grow facial hair like some, but even if you can't grow it, shave it, and grow it back quickly. But that's why I like frames. So I'm gonna throw these on here, and we're gonna jump into the topic here because we're talking about hero's journey, and we're gonna go and do our episode on the Matrix and the hero's journey. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me share the screen here. Share screen. Yep. We're gonna do entire screen. Share. All right. So let me pull this up here and make sure it's showing up on my end. Let me check here. Let me check my file, see if it's showing up. All right, cool. Everything is showing up. We are good to go. So I am Eric Hall, your success concierge, and today we're going to talk about the hero's journey and how it pertains to you, the blueprint for success, and how it's going to pertain to you, help you in life as well as business. So let's get started. So let's talk about the hero's journey. This is the blueprint for success. I touched on it briefly, the blueprint for that. So basically, the blueprint for success, right? And you know, once you understand this, you'll start kind of looking for this as you start watching films, programs, whether it's plays, reading books, and whatnot. This is the process that a lot of them go, and that in that particular process. So you typically have a character, all right, and in the first little bit of a movie, book, film, etc., they want to explain to you a little bit about the character and let you kind of know what they want. All right. And then the character has a challenge. It could be internal, external, philosophical. They have a challenge. And obviously, there's a gap in between what they want and the challenge that's blocking them. Now, what makes his character compelling is they don't know how to solve that challenge in and of themselves. Because if they did, they would just do it and it would just be like another every other day Wednesday. So they need some outside assistance in order for them to solve the challenge. So what happened? They meet a guy. They meet someone who can provide them some information, some guidance, some teaching, some coaching, some thoughts that's going to help them. And so the guy gives them a plan as well as a call to action. Now, there's always something at stake, right? So, if Batman doesn't do this, Gotham City blows up. If this person doesn't do this, their son doesn't get this operation. John Q is, for example. So there's always something at stake. There's either something to be lost or there's going to be something to be gained if they do not get done with whatever overcome this particular challenge. And then, of course, there's the victory aspect of it. So that's the path of the hero journey. And so, like, one of the questions that I ask when talking to individuals about this is think back to examples of some of your favorite movies. Typically action. You're not going to really see this in romantic comedies as much, but typically action and hero movies. That's the hero's journey as you see, and you see that as well in certain sports as well too. All right, you can go back and watch some of the case studies and see a perfect example of that. All right, so let's talk about The Matrix, right? So this is one of my favorite movies. It actually came out in 1999. I wanted to do something that everyone has access to. So even if you haven't seen it, you do have access to it. So it starts with his name is Thomas Anderson. He later becomes Neo, but he's just a regular guy. He works at the Metacortex, which is an interesting name, play on words, company. And he keeps having these dreams and nightmares or about the Matrix, right? And so he wants to know what is the Matrix, what is the actual meaning, purpose in life, and then he gets arrested by the agents. All right, so that's the character. And then what's the challenge? So you see right here, he's being arrested and interrogated, and then you see the agents coming into his office, and he wants to really understand, the meaning of his life because he's like, what is the Matrix is driving him? That's the question. And then he also has the agents and the machines and those trying to harm him as well as the other people. And then how does his choices impact others? All right. So again, in walks the guide. So in this case, it's Morpheus. Morpheus is the one who finds Neo, starts introducing him, and he gets him out on the path, because he always says there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So in the first Matrix, Morpheus is the main guide. The secondary guide is the Oracle. She provides a little bit of help and assistance to him, but Morpheus introduces him to her, and Morpheus is more active with Neo, or Thomas Anderson with Neo as a character. All right. And so what does he do? He provides him a plan. He says, I'm going to show you the Matrix, what the Matrix is. I'm going to provide you some training. I'm going to take you to the Oracle, and then I'm going to explain the prophecy and how you fulfilling the prophecy helps us all win. So that's the plan Morpheus provides. Then he has the call to action, the direct call to action. He says, hey, you can take the red pill or the blue pill. He gives him the red pill. He actually takes it. And then he also provides, and that's the direct call to action. And then the direct indirect is he has study, as you see here. He's getting downloaded all the information, growth, where you see him doing the jump and learning all that. And then, of course, training, where he learns how to read and detect and decode the information in the matrix. All right. And then what's going to happen? What's at stake if he does not succeed? All right. So again, the destruction of Zion. You see the Sentinels down here. They're coming. All right. And then also too, that can affect the overall civilization of human beings in Zion, as well as in the Matrix. And then he also has Morpheus, right? Because like the Oracle told him he would have to choose between him and Morpheus. And so you see the agents there giving him the truth serum, as well as and they're trying to kill Morpheus, as well as get the codes to Zion. And then, of course, you have Trinity. That is his love interest. All right. So what is success? Like he becomes successful. You see, he defeats Smith. So you see here, like that's him blowing Smith up. He gets his love interest, which is Trinity. He embraces being the one and how he can help and save and impact others. And that's him flying. And then he frees more people. Like you see right here, that is the system failure. So that's the hero journey. I want to do that for like a story that, like I said, is prevalent, easy to see, easy to understand. Now, let's talk about this from your individual standpoint, as far as you, as well as your brand. How can you use the hero's journey to your advantage as it relates to your building your business or your brand? All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. So there's always a character. And, I went back and forth and spoke with some individuals about who the hero is. And you can ask yourself this question: is the hero you? Is the hero you, the business owner or the individual? Is the hero the product or service that you offer or provide? Or is it the end user or the customer? So we'll get into that. You're going to see. So the hero typically is the customer. And when you have this paradigm shift, you'll be able to serve them better, and you're going to know why when we get into this. So you want to understand what your customer wants, what are their needs, all right? And what's the gap? So they may want to get from point A to point B. And so whatever that is in between, that's the gap. And they typically have a challenge or something that's blocking them for that, because they have the basic needs. They want to survive. They want to be happy. They want to be safe. They want to be healthy. They want to have high quality of life, and they want to be able to protect those around them that they love. And so that's how people, that's why customers engage in business or engage with various brands. All right. And the character, what does the customer want? So what are the challenges? Like what's the villain? As we in the movies and books and such and so forth, you have a villain, but it could be a challenge or it could be a conflict. So you as a business owner, you as a brand, what is the problem you are helping your customers have that is keeping them in the gap? And who's the villain? Who are you up against? Is it an external challenge? Is it internal? Yeah. So one thing from a business standpoint, people buy for internal reasons or internal results. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And philosophical, what is the deeper meaning so you can engage with them? So I'm going to give you an example. All right. So this person, the guy, is the personal trainer. Now the villain is unhealthy food and unhealthy lifestyle. So externally, a person wants to better their life. They want to get in shape. They want to bring their heart rate down. They want to bring their blood pressure down. All those things. Those are the external things that are driving them to want to make a physical change. Internally, they want to have confidence. They want to have a better quality of life. And then from a philosophical thing, it's like, okay, if I'm confident, if I have a better quality of life, then I can spend more time and do other things I enjoy with my loved ones. So this is just an example of how being a personal trainer, if you market this properly, you see a lot of individuals online who do this and you see this. This is what they do for you. This is how they market and approach you and get you to join their challenge, sign up for their training, do their coaching program, take their nutrition plan. This is the blueprint that they use. All right. And then the guide. All heroes need a guide. And so a guide has two particular roles. They have to be empathetic and they have to be authoritative. So what's empathetic? Empathetic is you understand the pain or challenges your customer is going through. And many times, some of the best guides are individuals who have been through that before. So, for example, we use the Matrix as an example. Morpheus, he was not born in Zion; he was born in the Matrix, and he came out of it. So he's a great guide to do that. In a lot of healthcare or personal trainers, they have been individuals who may have had various challenges in their health and their lifestyle, so they can understand, empathize, and let the customer know, hey, I support you. I've been there. I understand what you're going through. I'm empathetic to your pain. All right. So that's one aspect of it because people want to know that you care. The second thing is they want to know that you're an authority. And what does authority mean? That means that you have the skill set or the tools, whether it's a product, a service, or what you bring to the table to help them solve their problem. They want to know that you are competent. It's a number of ways you can establish competency, but basically they want to see, as they say, show your work. There's ways you may have where you show that you have a level of competence in doing what it is that you're doing. We can get into that. I get into that directly with the people I work with. But again, you want to show that you're competent. So it could be testimonials, awards, stats, articles, written work, different type of things that you've done to show you have skill set in a particular area. And then you got to give them a plan because what's the purpose of a plan? A plan is to provide clarity. Because one thing they say about people who are confused people do what? They do nothing. All right. So as a business owner, as a brand, you want to show them how they can be a customer or do business with you. That's the first thing. The second thing you want to do is remove any risk or overcome objections that a customer may have in investing in your product or your service. So I just use this as an example of the two ways. You got the process plan and you have the agreement plan. So this is an example of buying car mats. All right. So there's a lot of sites that sell car mats. So what do you have to do? You have to input the car model that you have. And then they may say, okay, this model fits your car. You have red, blue, green. They have all different type of colors of mats. You order the mats, and then once the mats come, you put them in there. All right. And then the other thing, the agreement plan, which is not so prevalent, that's not as seen, well, you have objections that a customer may have. And so you want to kind of point them out and overcome them. You may see these as FAQs or frequent or different challenges or things that people may have, but usually you see them as frequently asked questions. That's why they have those there, so you can get clarity so that you want to do business with them. And then you got to call them to action. Do this now, samples or trials. All right. And one thing is with your call to actions, you want to make them simple, easy to do, because again, you want your call to actions and your plans to be simple, things people can easily execute. I like to do them in threes. Uh, Book a consultation, give me a call, and let's chat. Develop a plan, those type of things. All right, and then help them understand what's at stake. People, they avoid pain or fear of loss more so than their desire for gain. But when they work with you or work with your brand, you're helping them avoid some negative consequence, some negative outcome, and then they're going to gain something beneficial to them as well too. All right. And so you want to have a clear what success and victory looks like. That's going to be the outcome that they're going to get. I use personal training as an example. So they're going to go from unhealthy as they are now to a better version of themselves. And then you want them to have clear outcomes. And this is you went from point A and now you're at point B. All right. So that's just a brief overview of the hero's journey and how you can use that to build your brand, market your business, reach your ideal and target customers. And thank y'all for tuning into this portion of our case study, or me going over the hero's journey and how it benefits you in business and branding. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Eric Carr, your success concierge, providing you the vision, tools, and opportunity for your desired success. All right. So let's stop right there. Let's go to the chat. Let me stop my share. And let's go back over here, see what type of, because this is my favorite part of the call, where I do go and I answer your questions. And we're going to get to that. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. All right. All right, cool. So we're going to go to the questions. I'm going to switch these glasses out so y'all can see a little bit better. I just like to do those type of things to have fun. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. But let's go to the questions. I did that earlier. I was very efficient with that. So, yeah, let's see what type of question I know y'all going to have some good questions for me. Y'all always do. So let's see what we got first. I know y'all guys have some good ones for me. All right. All right, this is a good one right here. This is specifically about the topic. So, how do I create an effective story for my brand? And so, for your brand, if you want to create an effective story for your brand, just go back to what we did with the hero's journey, right? And so, the first step is who is your main character? One thing I've seen for individuals, especially those starting off, because they just want to be successful. And there's a lot of pitfalls and challenges for individuals who want to grow, have a business, learn a business. So they say, oh, anyone could be my customer, right? And that may be true on a technical level, but you have an ideal customer, your main customer. And so you need to identify what does your ideal customer look like? How frequent do they buy or utilize your service? Do they give referrals? How much are they spending? What are the challenges for that particular customer cohort or individual that you are trying to solve? And so you want to identify them, what their challenge is, what it is that you can do to help them bridge the gap. So that's the first step right there. So you've identified the character and then the villain, all right, so to speak. All right. Now you're positioning yourself as the guide. So that's a hint, hint, clue, clue. Why I have said that the business or the business owner is the guide and not the hero, because the customer doesn't care. They have their own problems. So you are there to help them through the problem. That's why business are there, to provide a solution or an experience. So that answers that question there. So you are positioning yourself as the guide. So how do you position yourself as the guide? One, you understand and show empathy for their issue and challenges. And then two is show them that you're confident and competent enough and skillful enough to have their plan to provide to solve their challenge. Now, the third thing is, or the next thing, excuse me, is you have to provide a plan. So what if I were to come to your business and I want to, again, we'll use the personal training scenario. If I want to get in better shape, what would be your plan of action for me to get in shape with you? Whether it's you're going to tell me use this nutrition, this supplements, work out with you 3-4 days a week, whatever the case may be, what is your plan? And how can you make it easy for me to engage with you, right? Make it simple, because remember, confused people do nothing. And then the next step is, what are you helping me avoid? And what am I going to get out of this? What's at stake? And then the victory part. So when you master those, and again, it's an exercise that I go through with my clients, where I walk them through this process. We do this one by one at a high level. And sometimes we have to start at a high level and dig down deeper and deeper and deeper till we find that actual message. So this is what it is at a high level. But again, if you need a little bit more assistance, you need more, then feel free to reach out. You can check me out here on YouTube, on IG, website coming as well too. And I can further develop that for you and get you a great, clear, and concise plan of action for that. Yeah, I love these type of questions. I really, really enjoy seeing individuals and their businesses succeed, and them get the most out of their life. All right, so let's see what we got here. See what other questions that we have. All right, this is a good one right here. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the Lakers drafting Bronny James and nepotism? Well, so this is interesting. So, if you tuned in, I guess a couple weeks ago, I did do a case study on Bronny James about making a name for himself and the potentiality of him getting drafted. So today is July 3rd. Last Wednesday was the draft. He actually got drafted the Thursday in the second round, the 55th pick by the Lakers. All right. And so, is that nepotism? Yes. Is that the same as other areas of business? Yes and no. And here's the argument that a lot of people make. So they say, well, if you're a family business or you employ your son, you employ this, you employ these type of individuals. Now, my thought process, if it's family business and you want to leave it to your family, who better to lead in the train, right? Now, that's one. All right. The other difference is LeBron James doesn't own the Lakers. And so him one thing about sports as well versus business in general, like in business, skills are transferable. When it comes to sports, they're not transferable because even though Bronny James is LeBron James' son, Bronny is 6'1", LeBron is 6'9". So even the height didn't translate. And then the skill set, mindset, those type of things do not translate as well. Whereas business, you can be taught skills, learn skills, and it can be kind of covered up. And so one thing in the sports world too is no matter what, Bronny has to go out there and perform. So that's not going him being LeBron James' son, that's not going to put the ball in the basket. Him being LeBron James' son is not going to stop his opponent. So at the end of the day, Bronny has to go out there and perform. He has to put the ball in the basket. He has to stop his man or whatnot, help his team win. Now, from a other standpoint, is the Lakers, are they, people want to see their team win. And so are they really position themselves to win? A lot of people say no because they are more so concerned with the story versus winning ball games. And then also too, you have a hand-picked coach and you have a hand-picked player. How will it affect the other individuals? Because this is a team sport, so you need all four other men or five, the other players on the team to perform at a high level, buy into the coach, buy into the system, buy into all those things. You need all those individuals there to do that. So as it relates to Bronny, I mean, what's done is done now. He's drafted. So now they got to deal with whatever comes next from it. So it's going to be on Bronny to perform at a high level and earn his place, earn his keep, and earn the respect of his teammates and his peers. And then it's going to be on the Lakers to either win ball games or sell the fans or sell everyone else on why they should be engaged in this story beyond seeing father son play, whether it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes. Like, are they playing for a purpose to win, or they're just playing just to play? All right. So Herm Edwards says you play to win the game. So that's I really like that question. That's an interesting question as well too, about Bronny and just nepotism overall. Um, it's prevalent in a lot of different spaces in the business world as well too. But at the end of the day, it's about producing. And can you produce? Can your business produce? Can it sustain you? That's what it's all about. So for individuals who own a business or work for a business and they don't like the nepotism, you have two choices. You can either start your own or deal with it or go somewhere else. Those are the choices. So we'll see what's going to happen ultimately with the Lakers and how they perform and the reaction going forward for that. So I got the Cash App up there in case anyone wants to support the channel. I want to thank those individuals who've donated before. You can also place your questions there. I'll get them. I'll answer them as well too, or like email or other methods and variables that we have there, so that I will answer your questions. All right. So let's see what else we have here. Let's check the chat, see if we got anything over there. Let me put the link back up here as well too, just in case anybody wants to come up here and speak, ask questions, get their questions answered specifically. Because one thing I like to do is I like to answer these questions in real time. Um, that's one of the ways I show my level of competence. I'm a practicing member of the of that lifestyle where I show my levels of competence as well too. All right, so let's look at this. Y'all got another sports question for me. What do you see the major difference between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? Oh, for those who don't know, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they're basketball players in the WNBA. They matched up a couple times in college in the championship game last season. Angel Reese, her team won, and then Caitlin made it to the finals again this past season, but did not win and became victorious. And so they both got drafted into the WNBA, and Caitlin has been getting a lot of attention, some good, some not so good. And then Angel, she's like, I want to say the last 5, 6 games, she's just been really putting up some monster numbers. And both of them were elected to the WNBA All Star team. All right. So, what is the major difference between the two? Well, I would say Caitlin, she's a little bit more quiet and more reserved, and I would say likable by the masses, right? And then Angel, she's a little bit more out there, and sometimes she may rub people the wrong way. I think there's a space for both of them. Both of them are exceptional players, exceptional talent. I think if there was less conflict on both sides, they could work together. Not to say they have to be friends, they have to be buddies and whatnot, but they can work toward the good of the game. All right. So again, the WNBA has this reputation. Um, and Caitlin Clark, she's like a white straight female, I believe, and it just some people are more amicable to see her and interact with her. Angel Reese is a little bit rough around the edges, but she's still fairly attractive lady, very talented, and so they have two different personalities. And so to me, them working together, the contrast to show, I can do this my way, I can do this my way, and we can do this together, and perform well on the court. I think that would be better for all parties, especially the WNBA, because this is something or a situation that is putting eyes on the sport, eyes on the team, and the attendance is going up, the revenue opportunities is going up, and that's something that they've been clamoring for quite some time. So me personally, I don't know either of the young ladies well enough to really make a deep assessment. But I think they should work, work together a little bit more for the collective good of that. And I think ultimately, once this season is over and it's back to business as usual, they'll be able to say, Caitlin, I respect your talent. You're a great player. Angel, I respect your talent. You're a great player. And this is kind of like the hazing phase for that. And then they can, go forward and work with that. All right. And so one thing is, like I said, I don't know much about each versus what I see. And one thing I like to do on this channel is I like to make sure that I'm providing good information, quality information, and not rumors and innuendo, because I know there's a lot of that out there. But I want to make sure what I provide and give to you is, in fact, accurate as possible. So, yeah, let's see what else we got here. Oh, boy, this is a good one right here. All right. How do you feel about the Pop the Balloon dating show? I find it very entertaining. I will say that it's showing. Sometimes you have like I've seen a couple episodes, couple clips, nothing too major, and so sometimes you see how people can be superficial on both sides, and then also you see how individuals can succumb to peer pressure or those other type of things. So it's an interesting format. It has quote unquote a lot of shock value. We did see a young man go on there, and then he's had some, different problems in his personal life where individuals were calling to cancel, and they let say he lost a job. I don't know all the details about that. I know of some other YouTubers who have that particular information, but it's just one of those things where you know. Putting your best foot forward. And I'll say this because I see sometimes the gentlemen on there, they're not as well dressed as they could be. Some of the ladies as well too, but ladies typically dress, fairly decent. But to me, is if you're going to go onto this type of show and you're trying to meet a young man or a young lady to interact and engage with, why not put your best foot forward? So I don't see that as often as I would like to. As an image consultant, I want to see people looking good and putting their best foot forward so they can have the desired outcomes. Would I go on a show like that? No. The reason being is it's not like you can't really understand the true motives of the individuals there. Are they there because they want to meet someone? Are they there because they want to get famous? I don't know. And so if someone is there for bad motives or not so good motives, they could do something detrimental to you and to your life for their benefit. And that's just not something that I would do or like to put myself in position to be in. So that's why I personally wouldn't go on a show like that. But if I was, just trying to get a name out, be famous and whatnot, and wasn't really concerned about what happened, I just want people to see my face, know my name. Then maybe I've seen people that I've known who've been on various reality TV shows, and those shows they put eyeballs on you, so it could be positive or it could be not so positive. So I leave that to you to decide what it is that you want to do. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat. Let's see what other type of questions we have. All right, let's see here. I already talked about that one. Let's see here. All right, a fashion question. I love these. All right, this is a question I get pretty frequently. Actually, is I'm a younger man and you dress like an OG, and can you still help me? Well, thank you. I like to, dress how I like to dress, and of course. And so one of the challenges that I see just in general when people are looking for stylists or images or even influencers, a lot of individuals who are providing these particular services, uh, they go in with a preconceived notion. They have a preconceived thought process that they say works. So what happens is you see someone, whether it's a man or a woman, and they look well dressed. They, get some of the outcomes that you want to get, and you say, "I want that. I want to be like them. I want to look like them. I want to sound like them. I want to dress like them. I want my hair like them." But the thing is, I take into consideration style, personality. So I always like to use the example of you had Lil Wayne, Prince, and Idris Elba, and you invite them to a wedding or an event, and you told them to wear a tuxedo. You're gonna get three entirely different versions of a tuxedo. Why? Because and it's gonna work for all three of them. Each one has a style, personality, and they're gonna dress according to that. So you, as a young man, I wouldn't try to dress you like me. I would want to know, like, I would ask questions about you and your lifestyle. What are some of the outcomes that you have? What or the outcomes that you want? Where are some of the places that you go? What's some of the messages that you want to send? What are some of your challenges? And I would ask these questions right here. And then instead of saying, let me transform you into me because I get these outcomes, let me look at your style, personality, what you're doing, and how to help bridge that quote unquote gap as we talked about and get you to your outcomes that you want to get to. So that's how I will work with an individual. It doesn't matter if it's a man, a woman, young, old, it doesn't matter because I go into a situation wanting to know about you, your outcomes, and how can I help you be the best version of yourself and put you in position to achieve your desired outcomes. So yeah, that's a great question there. So let's see here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's check the chat, see if we got anything over there. Let's see what other questions that we have. All right, let's see here. Okay, y'all keep doing it to me. All right, here we go. So, how would you advise the plumber from the Pop the Balloon show? So, again, I spoke on it a little bit earlier. You had a young man. I think he was 29, 30 years old, and he's had some things in his background, his past, so he's overcame those things, and now he's made a better life for himself. And he was going on there. Some of the ladies gave him a hard time. He pushed back, and ultimately, quote unquote, what they said was that he lost his job. They called and quote unquote canceled him. Again, I don't know the full story, the full details. I don't know any of that. All right. So and I know he's been doing some media tours and talking with some individuals. So one, if he were to contact me and he said, Eric, I want you to work with me, I would get right down to it. Like, what are the outcomes that you want to have? So I don't know if he wants to own his own business. I don't know if he wants to go into be an influencer personality or that type of person because he is, very, fairly entertaining. I don't know what he wants to do. And then also too, from a dating and relationship standpoint, I don't know what he wants to do being attract. So what if I was working with him, I would ask him those type of questions like, what is your ultimate goal? What are the outcomes that you want? And then what do you feel like is a challenge to getting those outcomes? All right. Because people, when they focus on image, they focus on solely the appearance. But image is the appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint. So once I connected with him and found out the outcomes he wanted, I'm going to work with him to make sure the ABCDs of his image are in congruence with the outcomes that he says that he wants. And we'd develop a plan and we'd get that done, get that knocked out. So that's how I would work with the individual from the Pop the Balloon show. Uh, yeah, that's what I would do. Let's see if we got anything in the chat. We coming up on a quarter past, 15 minutes left in this because I like to keep it short and sweet. I've never been the type to be long winded, but as long as we got questions, we got people in here want to hear and talk. We'll do that. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Okay, another fashion question. What type of materials should I select for my summer clothes and suits? This is a great question. I live in the northern hemisphere. Again, I know we have people in the Middle East, the Caribbean, South America, such and so forth. And a lot of times individuals they want to still be stylish, but they want to be comfortable as well too. And a lot of times when I'm out, people are like, "Are you hot in this?" No, because one, I get breathable materials. So let's look at some things that you can do. All right. So when it comes to um, warmer weather, there's a couple type of things you can do from a material standpoint if you're looking at suits. One material that I like is I really enjoy bamboo as a fabric. Bamboo is hyperallergenic, so that means it's going to keep your body regulated as well as going to keep some of the nastiness and bacteria from that is going to help repel that. So bamboo is good not just for clothes and underclothes, but also sheets, towels, such and so forth. So I like bamboo as a fabric because it's versatile like that. It is durable and it's also breathable. Another thing people like to go with linen. Linen is good with warm weather outfit material. Now, one disadvantage of linen is it wrinkles very, very easily. So one workaround with that, you can do like a linen blend. So you may blend it with cotton. You may blend it with a little bit of wool, silk to an extent that's gonna help preserve that, or bamboo. So you blend it with other fabrics. Now, me personally, I like natural fabrics. When I say natural, either plant based or animal based. When we say plant based, I already said bamboo. I already said cotton. And then I also like from animal based, you can do wool, you can do alpaca, like those type of things. So I like those type of things because they're a little bit more breathable. Cotton is also a good breathable fabric as well too. Challenge with cotton is it holds moisture. So if it gets wet, it's going to stick to you. So be careful with that. So again, you can do a blend cotton, cotton, linen, and maybe some silk as well too. So those are some of the materials that I look at when we're looking at that. You can do seersucker, different type of things are there, and then even some of your silks as well. Now the challenge with silk is it's not as durable in and of itself as some of those other materials. But these are the type of things that are going to be a breathable, and two, they're going to be comfortable for you to wear in various types of weather. I like to wear those. I also like to wear Henleys that are somewhat translucent and things I can roll the sleeve up, roll the sleeve down, and you hold them up to the light and you can see through them. So that's the type of things I would look at from a material standpoint to help me in those warmer weather times. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, we already talked about that. I already answered that. Let's see here. Oh, y'all want to start mess today? Okay, we'll do it. What are your thoughts on the Ebony K. Williams pregnancy promotion? All right, so again, I've been asked certain things about this individual, Ebony K. Williams. She's a media personality, and she recently decided that I can't remember if she's either in her late 30s, early 40s, but she recently said she intentionally planned to be a single mother via I believe it's in vitro fertilization, and they just recently featured her on the cover of a magazine. I can't think about which one, what it shows her pregnant, right? And so again, I don't know what her ultimate outcome is. And so with her and with anyone, when you're planning, you're doing stuff, are you going to be happy not just in the moment and not just long term? So I don't know what her goals are for herself. I don't know what her goals are for, her children. I think she's having a daughter. I don't know if she plans to have more children. But right now, her goal is to experience motherhood. She's someone who's successful in the fact that she has TV shows, she does appearances, and she makes a good living, so she can afford those type of things. I don't know how this will impact her emotionally. I don't know how this will impact her if she wants to have a relationship and dating going down the line. I don't know. I just know in this moment right here, she wants to be a mother, and she's taking a step which way with which to facilitate that. So, um, only thoughts for her is, I just want her to have a healthy and safe pregnancy and a healthy and safe childbirth. Now, what happens after that, that's yet to be seen because, again, I don't know how, if her mindset will change, if her desires will change, her dreams will change after she's given birth. I don't know her well enough to know what type of outcomes that she has. And one thing about me is I'm someone of free will. I mean, her doing that, arguably, it doesn't affect me. It only affects her and the life of her child. And again, if they impact others, that's another conversation beyond that. But I'm a live and let live type of person. I allow people to have free will. I don't know her. I don't know anyone close to her, so I have no idea about her outcomes or whatnot. But one thing that I would, tell people is if you want to have her outcomes, make sure you're able to do exactly what she does. She's a multimillionaire. She can hire the best professionals to help her. She can pay for, in vitro fertilization. That's expensive. She can pay for those things. She can pay for nannies, trips, all those type of things. So if that's what she chooses to do, so be it. I really don't get into that, but let's see how her communication, how she talks, how she acts, how she shares her thoughts after she's given birth, and see what that is there. I never really like judge people on their life when they make a choice because again they have different ways that they meet their needs. They have different outcomes that they want to achieve and different ways that they would go about doing that. So I'm a live and let live type person. Y'all be trying to get me to start not necessarily beef, but get me to give some controversial takes. Y'all got to come on the panel for that so we can go back and forth and I can really understand what you're asking for, what the meaning is, and what you're trying to really ask me. But these are always good questions to ask right here. All right, this is a good business question as well too. Let me go ahead and pull this up right here. How did I come up with the pricing for my business? This is like this right here is like a really really key question and something to be examined. And one thing with pricing, there's so many different pricing models out there. You have to use the one that works best for you. So sometimes people use the pricing model of, okay, I'm going to price myself right around what the customers are. I mean, excuse me, they're going to price themselves around what the other competitors are charging. Another price model will be, okay, if it costs me 10, I'm going to add 15% across the board, no matter what, right? That's a pricing model. You may do tier-based pricing. And so there, like, this is a vague question to ask, but what I like to do is, like, I like to look at what's important to your customers, right? Like, if you want to go have price like the competitors, okay, fine. How is your level of service relative to them? How's your availability relative to them? How's your turnaround relative to them? How's the quality? All those things relative to them. I use hamburger places as an example. McDonald's, again, forgive me, I haven't eaten there in years, but let's just say a hamburger costs $5, $6. It may be more, it may be less, it doesn't matter, right? So McDonald's has a $15 hamburger, and then you have somewhere like Roof Chris or something like that. Their hamburger may be $20. And so it would be easy for McDonald's to say, or someone in that position say, oh, well, if Roof Chris charges 20, I can charge 20, right? But your customers are different, right? When customers go to McDonald's, they want something quick and convenient. When they go to Roof Chris, they want an experience. So they're willing to pay more for that experience. Maybe they're not willing to pay as much for that level of convenience. So you have to weigh that and not just look at, okay, these people charge this, I'm going to charge this. I've seen businesses have that issue where they don't provide the same availability, the same quality, or the same solve the same problem that those individuals may have. So you have to look at all of that when you're coming up with your pricing strategy. And that's one thing that I do is like, okay, this is your price. What's the value that you're adding, and why is that value important to the customers? So those are questions that I ask when I'm doing my pricing or doing pricing for other individuals. People, businesses, they're going to change the price. Typically they're going to raise them just because we're in inflation. But I've rarely seen businesses drop prices unless they're doing it for a sale or a surplus, right? But just in general, businesses are going to make adjustments to their prices. And so it should be relative to the value that you add or the perceived value that the customer believes you add. So this is another thing that you have to do from a strategic standpoint. You got to look at it, examine it versus do it just to do it. All right. So yeah, that's a good question there. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Thank y'all for tuning in to Office Hours. Let's see here. See if we have any more questions. All right. Doesn't look like we have any more questions. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Let me just say this right here. All right. So today is July 3rd, the day before 4th of July or Independence Day here in the United States. And so we talked about the hero's journey, the challenges, the things that they overcome. So, you can be the guide for your customer. Those are the heroes. But I want to take time and salute the other heroes who came before me. I know 4th of July, Independence Day, may mean some things to different people, but throughout that time, since those days, you've had men and women for the last, I guess, 248 years who put their life on the line for a purpose, a cause, or something that they believed in, so that we here today can have the opportunity in lives that we had, whether perfect, imperfect, it doesn't matter. So I want to salute the individuals who came before me, who, gave it what they had, did what needed to be done. Those are the true heroes. I'm just happy to be here. I'm excited. We in July, middle of the year, and it's time to finish the 2024 strong. Thank y'all for tuning in. Salute, and we are out.